another beautiful Sunday morning. The sun is saying, can you come out to play? Hey, hey, hey. Should've saw it coming, should've caught the warning.
Hey, it is me, Wanda B. We're on IntellectualRadio.com, and you are listening to the He Said, She Said show on IntellectualRadio.com. And I got my team with me. I got my right-hand man to my left, and y'all too.
In the building. What's up, everybody?
Yeah, our resident bachelor. And then my socialite, Nina, in dot.
What up? In dot in the building.
In dot is in the building. You guys, this show is sponsored by Made You Look Mobile Car Wash. And I want you, looks like it's going to rain, but you can still get your car washed. They'll come out to your home, office, anywhere you are, wherever you like. They come out in these busy schedules. Sometimes we just don't find the time to get our car washed. But you know what? They'll come to you. 708-674-4609. Made You Look Mobile Car Wash. Also sponsored by Windy City Grays. Okay, they are a softball team. Fun to watch. They're going to be out Wednesday in Crete. Go out, watch them play. A bunch of good guys. 1550 South Sangamon in Crete. Wednesday at 8:30. Go out and watch the game. Have some fun. And, okay, this topic came from NDOT. Brought to you by NDOT. And we are talking about what makes a woman wifey material. You've heard that term, wifey. She's my wifey, or wifey material.
Be your wifey?
Who sings that?
Be your wifey.
I remember that
That's
song.
a 90s song.
That's a 90s song. So the term wifey has been around a while.
It's been around for a while.
Okay, so they say wifey means wife material, or a serious girlfriend, or a potential wife, or a girl who is down with you. So, how does that make you laugh, y'all too?
It just sounds good.
Is it the girl's down for you? She your wifey?
That helps. Definitely
Hold them down.
Hold them down. Hold them down.
Yeah.
Johnny, what does that mean, to hold you down?
Wifey material. So I don't want women to be misled in this topic. Truth is, your resume could look great. You could have all the things that we're about to name on this show today, and for one particular man, you guys still might not be a great match. So definitely pay attention to what's being said, but also don't feel like you have to fit into these boxes and these categories in order to get married or in order for someone to propose to you. That's a misconception. But I remember in my early 20s, I was telling Wanda, and in that earlier today, in my 20s, I had this box I wanted a woman to fit in. I thought it was safe. If a woman was a college grad and she hadn't had a lot of sex partners just yet because it was still early in life, and all of these little things that I thought would ensure that I had a great relationship or ended up in a great marriage. And I learned the very hard way that resume, just like on a job, sometimes somebody seems to fit the bill on paper, and then once they get in that position, it does not work out. So ultimately, I would say, to answer that question, what makes somebody wifey material, ultimately, you just have to be my soulmate. We have to fit together like pieces of a puzzle. But there are some things that have to be there. Intelligence is super important to me. We can't hold a discussion if I can't learn anything from you and your experience and what you've learned. That's going to be a great disappointment for me.
But I'm a little confused, because I didn't think when you call somebody wifey, it necessarily meant you were trying to make them a wife. Like, someone could be wifey and you don't actually ever intend to make them your wife. Like, I thought wifey could be a general term, like she's the wifey because she is the girl, like the definition says, she's down for you and has that the qualities, like does the things wives do, so she's wifey. But you never really ever intend to make her marry her, though, right?
Okay, that's a whole other dynamic. No, that's true for some and not true for others. Me and my friends, when we started, we were kind of like young to be married. We started saying it in college. And so we were speaking of the women that we felt like we would marry after college when we were saying it. But a lot of people have started to use that term, kind of like you said, to make a woman feel okay with the fact that they never intend to marry that person. If I call somebody wifey, then that means I don't see any obstacles in the path on the way to us possibly being married at that moment.
Tucson said a big butt and a smile. That makes wifey material, Tucson.
Can't trust a big butt and a smile or a big beard and a smile. These beard things are.
He said,
they gotta be big.
And support and a willingness to fill in the blanks, whatever they may be. So
all right,
that's the white
Tucson never fails us.
Never ever fails us. Look at Jay, he chiming in. I'll be there 15 minutes. Stop texting and driving, brother. Be safe. Don't be chiming
We have
in.
2 guests coming in today. Our guest host. And Yatu, for a change, will not be the only he.
Yes, that's
for
right.
a change.
We
will
are
not be the only he.
excited about
ladies. It's just me and Wanda. We are literally
have
outnumbered.
so
But it
strong.
should be good dialogue.
Good dialogue.
Kind of an insight of, because unfortunately society has groomed women to for us to tailor ourselves for a man. And we never get that inside conversation with the guys about what it is they want. You see women who do all types of body altering, hair altering for a guy, and you find out he doesn't even like that. And so I think today will give us really good insight of the whole wifey material. And you guys know I am 100% ladies advocate. So I plan to push these brothers to their edge on some of their theories and ideas about that whole idea of wifey.
Wifey, because I also have a thought. Oh wait, now see, Tucson agreed with me.
Let us hear
Tucson agreed, and I thought a wifey. He said I thought wifey was just the most important one of the moment. I did too. I thought you called somebody a wifey who is like. She the one. She the main chick, and you got the side chicks, and then you got the main chicks, and you got wifey.
And see, and to me, that makes you lose the whole idea and the whole position of being quote unquote wifey.
One of my friends who's married.
Hey, look who's sliding in here. Slide on in. We got Tyson Smith here joining the group. 30 and up doing us. Hey,
we're like the Wiz.
Slide on in. We're going to slide them on in. See, we're going to work this out. Okay, Tyson, we're going to fill you in. We're on IntellectualRadio.com, the He Said, She Said show, and we are talking about what makes a woman wifey material. So it was kind of going 2 ways, where Tucson kind of agreed with me or brought up this point. I don't know if it's agree or disagree. I thought wifey, like people call women their wifey, not necessarily meaning that she has the potential to be your wife, but she's the main chick of the moment. She is the one at the moment. She's the main one. So she's wifey. She has those qualities, but he don't really care if he don't ever really intend to marry her. But people view this differently.
Yeah, my best friend jumped in the car the other day like, man, I bought me and wifey tickets to see Hamilton. That's his wife. That's the mother of his only 2 children. That's his wife.
Are they actually married, or he just called her
wifey? They live together, everything. They marry and have been married for years. And
see, I think the more you use the title, it makes it lose its content. If everybody is wifey, which means that's just the main chick, then when you get a wife, what makes her special? Like, what's the difference between wife and wifey?
I don't think women want to know what it takes to be wifey material if it ain't gonna never make them a wife. I think they want to know what wife material is then. I don't know. But different people use it differently. So I guess we're gonna have to address both sides of the coin.
Let's address both sides of the
2
coin.
hours today. I'm so excited.
We're like 2 hours.
Absolutely, because it goes by so fast. So we have to jump in on it.
So what you think?
What you think, Brad?
Well, I habitually get married, so it's probably different for me.
You habitually married.
How many times you been married?
I'm a repeat offender. I'm on number 3 right now.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
so,
But you love your wife. Talk about somebody who posted.
So I got more.
Up.
I may not have the longevity, but I got the different experiences. I had a variety.
Serial wifeys. But see, then you obviously see something in women that you consider to be wifey. No, I don't even understand. What would you say makes a woman wifey material?
What makes a woman wifey material is a person who's taking care of you through thick and thin, just being there in your corner and you supporting her. if she has aspirations to do other things, you're behind her 100%. And the same for you, as long as you're doing your part as a man, you take care of things you're supposed to be doing.
So it doesn't take a ring to do that. That could be someone who.
Now this is going to be good coming from you, because
I
clearly
think times have kind of changed a little bit, and I think people are so scared financially to commit to someone because of the repercussions it can have later. Because you see so many things on television with the stars, especially getting together, and then you decide not to be together, and then you're coming out of pocket so badly. So, but I've noticed how things have changed as more people are cohabitating and just claiming this person as their wifey, and not really having that paper to back it up. But, you know, I guess it's different strokes for different folks. Me, myself, if I'm calling you my wife, we're married.
Now, you mentioned something about commitment. Yeah. And I said, clearly there is a difference between wife being wife, because you've decided to commit.
Right.
Although several times, I'm going to give you a hard time for that. But you see the purpose in marriage. And so what is it about when you see these qualities say, hey, I want to make her my wife rather than my partner? Because that is a real thing now in 2017. You can claim your partner on your life insurance. You can claim your partner on your finances, all of that, without having the legal tie of marriage, or the legal union of marriage.
Right. Well, in my situation, I've went into at least one particular situation where I thought the person was going to have all those qualities, but what ended up happening was my daughter had to move in with me when I was 3, and my second wife explained to me at the time that I only thought you were going to have your kids on the weekend.
Ooh.
So when a person's not supporting your children, and that was very strange coming from a woman of all people, I had to make a decision at that point, and my daughter's been living with me since 3. She's 15 now. So I made a good decision on getting a divorce that particular time. So when I tell people I've been married 3 times, I usually say, because they look at you a little strange, but I say when you hear the story, you might change your mind.
I don't know why. I don't want to get off the topic.
2 in a possible. You've been married 2 in a possible.
But what is wrong with having 3 marriages if people date a lot of people long term? What is the difference? Why does that make it a negative to be married 3 times?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but there's a perception that people will think that he just wants to be married. Yeah, people will think, well, maybe he just wants to be married because he keeps doing it with the wrong person or whatever the case may be. But life is trial and error, and so the only difference in it is how far he decided to go in his failed relationship.
And y'all two makes a good point. Life is trial and error. That being the case, I think people look at 3 marriages as lesson after the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Why continue the same pattern?
But it makes him happy. He wants to be married.
It seems so hard then.
Hustle.
Because if he stays single, waiting to make the right choice, you talk about him then too. I mean, if he decided he's gonna stay single, I'm 43 and I'm still never been married, then you look at him with a side eye, but he's trying to make the right choice. What is the right answer then?
And what everybody says is, he makes a good point, is that it really is a religious institution.
Yeah.
We use it loosely, but it was a religious sanction to keep from sinning. And so, and procreate and all of those things. It's to procreate. I think that was Paul that was like, it's better to marry than to burn. And so that was kind of the doctrine then. But now I feel that we adapt to our surroundings. All animals adapt to the environment in which they're living in. And so marriage is not so much a religious connotation, but sometimes people marry because, hey, together we pull together financially better, or we make better decisions. We're just better people together than we are individually dating.
I think also there was a guy who came in here to Intellectual Radio who it was a young guy who got married at 18, and his parents told him not to have sex until he got married, and I understood why he was married young. Okay. Because he was, I mean, I think too, at some point in time back then, you waited until you got married, so you got married younger. Because
Anna Nicole Lacey is saying, "Don't call me wifey unless I cash in your life insurance."
Cash me
y'all
out.
Better watch.
Cash me outside.
Y'all better watch Miss Lacey. She gonna kill her husband.
Now, from your resident funeral director,
that is,
ladies and gentlemen,
Can we cash
If
in?
you have a child by someone, you have insurable interest. So you ain't really got to get a ring. Got a child.
Heard that.
You have
Anna Nicole
insurable
Lacey,
interest. Go
aka
ahead.
Stiff Nick.
Cash out $100,000.
Oh, that's why the ballers, the women just go have babies with the ballers.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Too funny.
That's just a sidebar. Everybody should have life insurance stuff.
So wifey, Dub Nation said, wifey is a woman who is exactly what you are looking for. Marriage has nothing to do with being a wifey. So
agreed to some degree. A man might decide to go ahead and marry her because she's wifey, but he's absolutely right in that regard. If we want to separate it, it doesn't mean that you have married her. It means that she is exactly what you're looking for, to where you're comfortable with her filling that role.
I would like to hear from women who like the term wifey, who like to be called wifey, that they feel like he really is taking her serious. Like she has a little bit more value in his life because she's wifey.
You just been the wrong man's wifey.
I told him y'all too. I don't. He better write me a letter. Can we go together? Yes,
right.
No, or maybe. So here's the thing about using terms like that is, again, I feel like it invalidates the concept of the institution.
Maybe it needs to be invalidated.
I don't even want to be your girlfriend. Like,
what?
I'm 30-some years old. I'm too grown to be talking about, oh, this is my boyfriend.
So what do you want to be no title until you actually get the real title?
Well, to me, absolutely. Either you're married or you're not.
Engaged and married. I heard it's only 3 stages. I just saw that on a video somewhere.
What are the 3 stages?
3 stages is dating, engaged, or married.
Dating is no commitment.
Shacking, and ain't no boyfriend. She said she too grown, ain't no boyfriend. It's dating, we getting to know each other, and then engagement.
So what do you call them then? What if you want to just refer to him as somebody here meets
baby
so and so, because we have no title, because I can't call him a title because we're not married. So he's just
he's my partner.
Man. These titles are designed to fool people most of the time.
But what is the partner? Could be that we work together. I mean, this is my business partner.
Absolutely. It's a catch-all phrase.
It's a catch-all phrase. So partner is what you call anyone you're not married to. If you're
after a certain age, like in my teens, that's my boyfriend. You know, I have issues with the whole title commitment thing because I still have yet to understand the perks of that.
We about to do an experiment, y'all. We about to go together
for the summer. We're gonna go together for the summer,
and we're gonna see if at the end of the summer she has the same views as she did before. Now,
So Dub Nation said women are more concerned with titles. Women want titles
because they feel it secures their position with the man.
Okay, Tucson said the 3 stages are friendship, courtship, and union. That makes more sense to me.
So we're friends. I like that. I got a title.
It seems like, to me, times have changed to the point where now less women are looking for those titles. A lot of women are more career driven right now. I think, me personally, I see more women who stray away from the title that don't want the commitment almost than men now.
Really?
I think times are just changing. Like,
I think times are changing.
No, women are just not buying the Kool-Aid. We're not drinking
then maybe
Kool-Aid.
it's just the fact you're not
because the
settling
title
for less.
is a false security that especially even with wifey. You're going to call me your wifey for 10 years and then you leave and commit to someone else and you actually make that person your wife. So what's the point of me feeding into the title? Like, no, I'm not
so upset about that. A woman go marry somebody else, I feel no type of way. God bless you. I hope you're happy.
Well, we feel that way because it's 10 years you don't get back. Time you can't get back. So if you knew you weren't going to commit and make me that quote unquote wife, we're going to play house, we're going to merge our finances, we're going to do all of this, and then I have to pick up the pieces and start all over. Heck yeah, I got an issue with that.
But I think that's on people to take care of themselves. Go ahead, Tyson.
I've seen some women like that I know that don't have children, and I see they're least likely to say, well, force a person to say, hey, let's get married. And it seems like I see more cohabitating now when people don't have kids together. I think once the kids become a factor, you're trying to look about more stability. And that's, you do want that title and say, this is mine. But if you don't have, now I think the times have just truly changed where I see a lot of women who stray away from the title just because they're.
Even wifey, they don't want to be called that either.
No, Story Devereaux
So
says,
much no more.
wifey is a loose term used outlandishly and inappropriately.
Oh, wow.
A man who refers to me as a queen validates me. Queen is an overall embodiment of everything I am to him, including but not limited to his Seymour.
Now we
Now
just
it's
made
semantics.
wifey
Yeah, now it's
queen.
just
Oh, that
semantics.
is crazy.
Not
No, she said
limited
it's
to-
not, but
it's
people,
still
let's not say
relation.
it's crazy. It's different.
It's
to
not
me.
crazy, but I think,
I'm gonna be
okay,
politically correct.
Right.
it's what you think queen means to people. I mean,
Exactly.
wifey,
People
what it
have-
means.
people
That's
have
just
words that they
replacing
like,
a
and
word.
People have words that they don't
Absolutely. So therein lies my point, that the term really doesn't mean anything without the commitment or the action.
The
So if
action.
you're gonna call me your wifey, at least put a twisty tie with a tic tac around my finger and say, "This is my fiance," and we're.
But don't call me no queen and you're not treating me
If
like
I
a
call
queen.
you wifey, you won. Let me just tell
How?
you won.
So I think that
Ding, ding, ding.
I don't use that term loosely. So if I call you wifey, I'm treating you as such.
But what about on the other end of the scale? What about the people who had a title but don't got the commitment but support it behind
And
it?
love it.
So
Some
you-
women like
So
that.
some people are married and not living like married people anyway.
That's what I was about
That's
to say.
true.
That's
You
what
know?
people, when people get caught up in the titles and even the marriage aspect of it, and I'm not trying to diminish marriage, but there's so many people who are married who aren't behaving that way, and people who aren't married who their relationship is better than a lot of marriages. It seems like
Yeah.
the title, it doesn't mean much without the action.
I also know people who are so proud that he calls her wifey. I mean, they are very proud that he has given her that, my wifey, and they feel so good. They don't have a ring. Slide on in, Jay. That's how we do it today. Hey, Jay. Hey, Jay. We slide them on in. Bring them in. Come on, slide on in. We've been talking about what makes a woman wifey material here on IntellectualRadio.com, and we're bringing in Jay Hollins. Hey, Jay.
Oh, Lord.
We got a full house.
As Nicole say, my mother always told me to care less about a title and more about the benefits that come with said title, i.e. don't call me the manager, but pay me the same as the janitor. Keep your title.
Thank you. I so agree. I don't care about the title. I don't care if I'm queen,
Your
wifey.
mother has skewed your
Manager.
thinking, Miss Lacey. That is
I
too
agree
funny.
with that, though. If you don't get the benefits that come with the title, why give me this phony title?
I remember she said one time, if you have not made a woman a wife, then you have not done anything for that woman. I'm like,
Who
that's so
said
hard.
that?
Anna
Anna
Nicole
Nicole said that?
She's so harsh. She's so
I'm
funny.
all about Anna today. Hey, boo.
You ain't
Get
getting
your
nothing.
response.
Anna is our third lady. You balance us out today, Anna.
Still true, she said. Still true today. She
They want
said
to
it
skip
then,
the
she
steps.
means it
That's
now.
why people be divorced.
Okay, Jay, we're going to
That's
pull
what
you
I
in
was
today.
about to say. Jay's happily married. We definitely need to get your views on this.
You know what? Before we bring Jay in, we're going to take a quick break, play some of my Bab Savage. Do you have her around, dear super producer? And we're going to pull us back into He Said, She Said. We'll be back in 1 minute. Thanks.
It's a beautiful Sunday morning. The sun is saying, can you come out to play? Hey, hey. Should have saw it coming, should have caught the warning. But I took a taste. Like candy rain, running rivers through the summer snow. You keep me satisfied. I can't complain. I wouldn't know where to start. No. It's good inside. Hot apple pie. I'm your ice cream. Let me melt for you. You're the sweetest thing to dip in my fondue. Have a spoon or two. It might sound strange, but I can never seem to call your name. You fill me up. I go insane with sweet thoughts of you dancing in my brain. I can never get enough. Oh yeah. pie. I'm your ice cream. Let me melt for you. You're the sweetest thing to dip in my fondue. Oh, oh, have a spoon or two.
Hey, it is me, Wanda B, and we are back. You know what? This segment is sponsored by Journey to Wholeness Center. They're located at 9501 New England in Oak Lawn. Give them a call if you need help with anything we've talked about. Want someone to they have 18 different practitioners that deal with all different modalities. So if you like some healing with some things that you are dealing with, make sure you call them and they will help you out. Go to www.journeytowholeness.org and go to their website, check out what they have there: yoga, massage, intuitive healers, you name it, Journey to Wholeness Center. So we have been talking about what makes a woman wifey material. What is a wifey? Do you like to be called wifey? Does that make you all warm and fuzzy because he called you his wifey? Or hey, I'm the wifey. Or how do you feel about it? So we've been going in, talking to our people here on Facebook as usual. I so appreciate when you watch us live on Facebook, or whether you watch on YouTube, Spreaker, listen on iTunes. I appreciate you all. So chime in, let us know what you think, though. Be part of the discussion. You can also call in 708-223-8953 and tell us what you think. We're going to be here 2 hours today. Usually we get in the middle of the discussion and we can't fit it all in, so we're going to fit it all in today. So if you're chiming in on Facebook, we're going to listen to your comments. Lottie Dottie said, wifey is no substitute for wife. My ex-husband used to jokingly address me as such, and I thought it was cute. Is it cute when you are the wife? Is it not cute when you're not the wife? Jay, what you got to say on this topic? What you think? What you think on the wifey?
You say pass that mic.
Pass the mic.
Let 'em know,
Pass
Jay.
the mic.
Me personally, like, I called my wife wifey long before we got married, but this is when the term was really popular. We talking like late 90s college.
So it was like
Wu-Tang,
boo.
right? That's
It was
what I
like
said.
boo or bae.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I called her wifey, and it came from like a lot of my homeboys used to call her that because they always was like, man, you ain't going nowhere, and she ain't either. So that's wifey. But I guess it's, for me, it's all about what the person's comfortable with. Now, if your girl tell you like, look, don't call me that until you give me the title, then you got to respect that. This is something you really got to respect. And I still call my wife wifey now as opposed to wifey. I mean, as opposed to wife. I call her wifey now, and we've been married 17 years. So, I mean, it's really about what, she's comfortable with. It's like you said, one young lady said that I don't give me the title, and don't give me a raise, basically, if
if I don't get the pay.
That type of thing. So some women feel that way, and that's fine. You got to respect that. Like, here's the thing, like, it's a lot of people playing house with no intentions on ever giving anyone the title. So you just got to know what situation you in. Really.
Okay. Well, you know what? Here on He Said, She Said, we'd like to bring you the perspective from the male perspective, the women's perspective. I call my guys here the he's, and we're the she's, and we're outnumbered today. We like that for the first time ever. More he's than she's, and they're all over the board. Which I like is that we have some married ones, and then our resident bachelor here on my on my left.
Absolutely.
And so I like to hear that perspective. I like where you guys are coming with that, because I don't know how I feel. I don't want anybody to call me wife, and I'm not the wife, though. I don't like made up titles.
I want to chime in because as I
what do you think?
Jay, it really made me think about the history of the word wifey. And it's like, whenever something good comes out, it's always going to be some people who take it and do something bad with it. So I think when people first started saying wifey, it was because that woman really fit the bill to be your wife in the near future. Right. And then guys saw that's how that was going, and they start using it just to try to make a woman feel warm and fuzzy on the inside without actually doing the work or without treating her as such. And so that's why you have women saying, don't call me that, because men start throwing it around loosely. But I want to say in the 90s, it was the Wu-Tang who first started using that term wifey and queen, and they were like dead serious about it. They just weren't necessarily honoring religion and the U.S. government for whatever reasons, but they weren't just saying it and then treating women like dirt. They were saying it because they were treating that woman like a wife, and that woman was playing the wife role. And so from my perspective, it's a term of endearment. It's not something I would ever use loosely. I probably haven't called anybody wifey in years. And if I do, that means I'm thinking along the lines of, she and I can possibly get married. We're going to keep seeing how this goes, but I would marry that one. And I don't see any obstacles in the way as far as her character and her personality that would stop me from doing that if I call her that.
Well, in my defense, I didn't start calling my girl wifey until we started cohabitating. So at that point, when we got to that point, I already knew.
You knew she was the one.
Yeah, like I already knew at that point. It was just a matter of getting the ring, putting it on her finger, and then taking a leap. So for me, at that point, if I decide we gonna do this together, then we definitely get married. Because I'm not really into playing house. I don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not my thing.
I will play house.
So he said, I will play house. I will play Scrabble. I will play. I'm playing Uno, but I'm playing.
You don't play. No. You gotta test drive a car before you buy.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So I agree with that.
You don't think so?
But what's wrong is she be test driving.
Just don't test drive it 10 years.
Exactly.
Ain't made no payments on the car.
No. Let me.
Test drive is the dating
Never
phase.
put it in your name.
No.
It ain't in your name.
Not so much the dating phase, but the commitment phase. Once we're in a relationship, you come into. So I can't buy into the you don't know somebody until you're married, or
No, you don't know somebody until you live with them.
until you live with them, or in a committed relationship.
Have you ever lived with her?
Wait,
Not.
the married men say that's true from their perspective.
Listen, listen, I think we were together for 4 years when we moved in together, and we were together for 6 when we got married. So I look at it like this. And in those 4 years, I thought I really knew her. We know her until we lived together.
That's absolutely
You understand what I'm saying? Because there were some quirks that she had to get used to that I had. There's some quirks that I had to get used to that she had. And some people, no matter how small these little idiosyncrasies, they may find it an issue where they can't stay.
Yeah.
It can be something as people try to put as minuscule as the way that you clean as opposed to the way that she cleans. It could be something as minuscule as, well, I don't like the way you do this, or I don't like the way you do that, and that could be a huge problem for some people. So
That's a deal breaker.
If you put some people, not for me, we breaking up. I'm moving out.
I can't put the plate and cover it up with
Ziploc bags or something going on. I've seen a person put a plate of chicken that's in the refrigerator.
open without covering it.
Yes.
I totally.
I just said
Throw the
no.
pizza box in the refrigerator, just slap it in there.
From my experiences of marriages, and like I said, I've been married a few times. But the one thing I have learned,
These are
one thing I have learned, the difference between this marriage I'm in now and the 2 prior ones. Sometimes people use that marriage word as a springboard to say level has changed for you. You have to realize whoever you're marrying was that person you've been dating the whole time.
Right.
People get into relationships feeling like eventually I'm going to fix you. You know what I'm saying? But that's the wrong mentality to have. If you're not happy and satisfied with that person that you're already with, don't expect them to change, because in their mind, this who I was before is what you fell in love with. And men and women, she'd be okay if she just worked to clean up or whatever the case might be, and women especially, hey, he's gonna get it together. I know he don't take care of his other kid, but he gonna take care of mine. This whole mentality like things are gonna be fixed all of a sudden because you're with that person is so untrue. And what I think the reason why my marriage now is more successful than my previous ones is because of the amount of time we dated. We've been married for 6 years, but we known each other for 10 years. But the first 2 years we were both dating. Well, I think the first 2 years I was dating, she was dating the first year. But that's neither here or there.
That's another show.
To that point.
That was
a real good point.
Now
See, all right.
And it's like you don't have to live with somebody to know them. But I totally
absolutely
disagree that I thought I knew somebody and then we lived together.
But you yourself have just said that after spending time, good quality time with the person when you're committed. Now, to a whole nother level. However, the person really hasn't changed. You just get a peek on the inside of how they live.
It's harder to hide.
But
I agree.
You have
It's
to
harder
wake
to
up
hide
in the
from
who they
AM with
are.
someone.
Who they
It's
are
a
is
lot
still
harder
who
to
they
hide.
are.
Like he said, it's hard to hide stuff. My second wife had a job where she was making equivalent pay to my pay. And when we were dating, courting, I never realized the financial struggle she was going through. She was very bad with money until we actually lived together.
Okay.
You know, and then you start seeing collection notices and this, that, and the other, having bill payers call you, you know, but you're not privy to that information when you're not living with someone. Right. And it's easy to hide.
Point.
How many people have gotten married to somebody and later find out they're thousands of dollars in debt with student loans, stuff they didn't expose during the courting stage. So you never really know what you're getting into sometimes until you.
And now you're responsible.
You can still hide that living with them. You can't find this out during a conversation. No.
Nobody's gonna volunteer that to you.
Exactly.
No one's gonna volunteer that to you, Wanda. No one.
At what point do you say, "Hey, you know what? Now we're dating. I just want to let you know I'm 40 grand in debt."
Not dating. But if you getting them towards the stage, I think I may call you wifey. I want to know how you handle stuff. I'm not gonna move in with you to find out either.
And
I want to know.
they're still going to lie.
They're gonna
lie. A lot of times,
and I don't want to marry a liar. We're done anyway.
So I have a question, and someone actually in the thread put that. Dub Nation put wifey is really just a term of endearment. So what are the perks of being a wifey to your girl? Or is it really just a loose term of endearment?
Wifey today to me is equivalent to your main person. Because to me, if you
main. So
there's more people. You're just the main one.
I'm just
seriously, you know, like this is wifey right here. I mean, I guess it's more like say a term of endearment, maybe around your fellas. Like if you say wifey to your fellas, you think, okay, this is his main girl. He's taking her more seriously than anybody else he's dating. You know, but
I personally don't think you should use it unless you are like exclusive with that one person. Because if I'm dating you and then there's 3 other chicks that I'm seeing, all y'all just chicks that I'm seeing.
But what if I don't want this one to leave? I still want the other women, but this is the main one. I do plan on settling down.
Let me wait a minute.
What if she Michael Jordan and the rest are the benchmark?
Now this is true, but at the same time, like then you just can't get. I mean, you can. When you have that situation, most guys ain't gonna be honest about it. Most guys be like, "Oh, I tell them all." Yeah, you gonna tell them all except her. You know, and I'm just keeping it a buck. Now, regardless of what dudes say, oh, I'm going to be, because if you feel like this chick is Jordan, not be into some of the things that these other girls are into. So you're going to go wild out with them, and that's going to be your peace of mind and your serenity. But eventually, you're going to have to let all that other stuff go if she really is Michael Jordan.
If she's really wifey.
Really Michael Jordan. If not, you know, she just Harold Miner. She a stand-in.
Ruining my life.
You know,
ruining my life with this truth.
The married men bringing the truth.
I'm the girl on the panel. Me and Wanda. I don't know what the heck he just. Who is who? Michael Jordan is the only person name I know.
I said,
I'm just gonna let it go.
You remember Baby Jordan, the dude that just
let's let it go.
I knew he wasn't
quite Jordan.
He wasn't quite Jordan.
I got the point. Every time somebody comes to the league, we hoping and praying they're gonna be the next Jordan, but they never really are. And so he's one of those.
I know LeBron. No, I'm just. I just did that just because it's all good. It's a topic right now.
It's a maturity thing too, because a lot of times what I see in relationships, the reason why you have the craziness go on in a lot of relationships, like people want to bash out your car windows and call up to your job and just do miscellaneous stuff like that. It's about honesty, right? So at the end of the day, if you are in a dating world and you have more than one person that you're dating, if you're honest about it, you'll have less negative repercussions because you gave that other person the opportunity and chance to decide this is what they want to deal with. And even if you're married and you decide to cheat, like you got some guys that go, oh, me and my wife are going through issues. We're about to break up. I'm only living with her for financial reasons. They don't keep it 100. But if you're letting a person know what they're getting into, there's nothing wrong with my relationship. I just like to do this, that, and the other, you know, and I'm not totally decided. I mean, people will respect that a lot more, and you have a lot of negative repercussions. So to this point, you shouldn't call a person wifey if you don't really mean it. And if you're going to call them wifey, I think it's up to them as an individual to ask, well, what does this mean now? You know, what does this mean to you?
That's the question we all
everybody look at. We see several different perspectives on this panel on what the word means.
Fellas, have y'all heard this? So what are we?
Right.
Exactly.
You
So
know?
and that's what Darius says. Darius says, are women prepared
For the truth?
Women of today know what it takes and are ready to become wives. If they want to be called wifey, do they understand what that entails, or just want to play house?
I don't know what it entails.
Can we just not put the onus on women though? Can we just put it on both parties?
Through, Jay.
I mean, because
Anderson passed the collection plate for Jay.
No, at the end of the day, when you enter into that, like I need people to understand, when you enter into a marriage, you're basically forming a corporation with this person. This is what you're doing, because so many people be like, okay, I'm gonna get married, and for the first 7 years of my marriage, my wife and I was guilty of that. Okay, that's cool, we're married, but this is you over here, this is me over here, and then people wonder why they constantly fail. It wasn't until we sat down and said, hey, this isn't working for us, and it may cost us our marriage. So in order for it not to cost us our marriage, what can we do? So we revamped everything, and 10 years and running, it's been a raving success. Like there's nothing being, kept from anyone. We move as a unit. Right. There's no I, there's no you, there's just us. People have to understand that. So the onus is just not on women. Marriage, you have to do your due diligence. Like, what are your examples? Who do you have as an example? Like, if you don't know any successfully married couples, then you probably shouldn't get married until you can find some to be around. And you don't have to be them, because everyone's normal is different, right? But you need some type of template to go from. People think like, if you've been if you were raised by single parents and all you've seen was dysfunction with your uncles and your aunts and all this your entire life, and you jump in a marriage and that's all you know, what do you think your marriage is going to be like? Right. I'm just saying, so don't just put the onus on women. It's on both parties.
Absolutely.
Totally agree.
I think people do need a mentor. Although I saw a guy that I really admired as a husband say he didn't have one. He just looked at the examples of what he didn't like and just did the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have one either. But it took me 7 years, and then we got it right.
I think it is just what he said though. It is really like a corporation, and I think that is not against marriage. I'm not. I am a little bit afraid of it, because if I merge with the wrong person, it's gonna bring me down. I'm just keeping it 100. I'm an empath. I can't live with somebody. I can't be joined at the hip with somebody, and we're not on the same page. It's gonna pull me down for sure. I mean, 1,000 enemies outside the house, then have one.
You can't come home and you can't fight your battles with the world and then come home and fight one in your house. Like what Chris Rock said. He said people say life is short. No, it's not. Not if you choose the wrong person. It's long.
It's long.
Jay, you brought up just a very good point that I think makes so much sense and a load of difference. It's someone who was married 20 years when I divorced, and about that 7 year mark, that 7 to 10 year mark is when it kind of gets kind of And then what I think I loved what you said is that you both are willing to say this isn't working, unless what are we going to do different? Because people say marriages work and it's hard work. I don't know if it's necessarily hard if you both are on the same agreement that we're going to make this work. There are some hard parts, and you have to be willing to say, we are going to fix this. We're going to make this work, because if it doesn't, it takes two people, because one person can't fix it by themselves.
And it's about the work that you're willing to do it. We didn't do it on our own. We went to counseling. So like for me, and yes, Black folks.
Journey to Home.
Yes, Black folks.
Salute,
look, yes, Black people. We went to counseling. We know, we've heard. That's and by the way, like my wife is Latina, but like she heard it from her family too. That's white people stuff. We don't go to counseling. I'm like, listen, we need to sit. We basically need a referee.
Yeah.
We need a referee, because with me at the time, how heavy I was doing music, doing shows, traveling the whole nine. So then that was that life, and not really, being around the spoils of what come with that, and just probably friendly at times. You know what I mean? And so with that being said, she wasn't wrong for being like, hey, pulling my coattail, hey, like, homie, what you doing? And I'm like, huh? So after a while, it got to the point to where I had to decide what was more important to me, like keeping this beautiful woman I had at home and these two boys that I had at home
about your
together,
yes.
or being who everybody else thought Jay Hollins was, the R&B singer, this, that, and the other. So it really came down to that. And hey, my choice was like, hey, I'm gonna have to y'all gonna have to be on hold over here. I gotta go fix my house. So that was kind of what it was.
I'm going to take this moment to mention our sponsor, Journey to Wholeness Center, 9501 New England in Oak Lawn. And if you want someone to talk to, they have counseling there. Like I said, 18 different practitioners. So you can find someone who works with you, who you like. Their number is 708-634-3664, 708-634-3664. Go to your Journey to Wholeness. That's where I went after my marriage, to pull it all together. Okay. So the place to go where if you need that help, and they're very discreet, you can call on the phone and they will help you out. So you don't have to make these arrangements in time, make it work for yourself, but I would like to throw them out there. So we've been talking about what makes a woman wifey material. So we've been over the board here with how men see it, how women see it, and nice to have married men because their perspective is a little bit different than what I expected. Yeah. Yes. Go ahead.
I want to say something about marriage counseling. I've been to marriage counseling 3 times. Okay.
Three different wives or the same?
No, three different wives. But I think I'm gonna go back to the maturity and the honesty factor, right? Because as he was talking, I started thinking about my experience with marriage counseling. For the first 2 marriage counselors, I know I didn't want the marriage to work no more. And that's I know what to say to a marriage counselor at this point to sound like I'm totally the victim. And you having the other person, and they've all been women. You know what I'm saying? So you always automatically think they're going to really side with the woman. But if you just lay back and let the woman be all excited, you just cool back like, yeah, I was trying to work on that. I wish you would just give, like, why don't you give them time? So, I mean, it's all about making it work. Me and my current wife, I never said this out loud public because we don't share any of our issues out loud, but I'm not going to go into what the issue was. And it was a relatively, if I explained the issue, it might be small to everyone else, but it was causing great disdain in our household. We went to marriage counseling for the simple reason we wanted a final answer. Just like you said, a referee. And we agreed before we even went, hey, if this don't go your way, if it don't go my way, whatever this particular person says, well, we gonna roll with. And it was so interesting when we saw this marriage counselor. And now I've been, like I said, to 3 marriage counselors. This marriage counselor was like, I see y'all never being here again. And we were like laughing during the counseling and everything like that. She was like, you really just have this one particular issue that you're trying to work through. And that's it. She's like, because y'all just seem like y'all go out every week, this, that, and the other. But the issue was, it was causing too many small arguments around the house. And once she gave us the final answer, we rolled with that. We went out to eat, and that was that. And we never really discussed the issue ever again because we just needed that final person to say, hey, that's it. You know what I'm saying? But have to want a marriage to work in order to seek counseling. If you're just seeking counseling just to say, hey, like for the formality of it, oh yeah, I tried, but you really don't want the marriage to work, there's no point to seeing the marriage counselor.
So yeah, you have to be in it. I had a young lady 20 years ago. I was calling her wifey. Why? Because I wanted to marry her. We lived together for a year, and it's like how it was before we lived together. We get engaged, and within a year of that, we're gonna be married. We moved together, all hell broke loose. Went to a marriage counselor. The marriage counselor called me after and was like, dump her. Right. Get out of there, bro. You're never going to survive.
But that you had a good experience, though. She helped you then.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he also did something that so many people wait until the last minute. I am an advocate for going to premarital counseling even before you get engaged. Yeah. Engaged, you're invested because you spend money on a ring. You put money down on the venue.
Right.
Who wants to walk away from those thousands? You sent invitations out. So, ladies, if you are in that position from on the panel, just seek out the counseling before.
I went to premarital counseling.
Be tougher conversations that you you don't want to bring up it.
It helped with the talk about money when they said that they specifically broke us up to talk about how will you handle the finances. We hadn't lived together, so we did have those conversations through premarital counseling, but I still also believe that who you are at whatever age you marry won't be the same person. Hopefully you are 7 and 10 years from now.
Shouldn't be.
So you should.
But y'all should be growing into it.
And maybe you're not, and maybe you're starting to grow apart. And sometimes I'm growing, the other person isn't growing. They're the same person they were. And so I do think you still need some tune-ups and checkups. You check up your car. You wouldn't go 7 years without keeping your car tuned up and getting an oil change.
You don't grow chronologically. Two 21-year-olds are not going to be the same just because they're the same age.
Absolutely.
Right.
Grow at their own rate.
People.
Absolutely.
So do the pre-stuff. Just
do
like
the work.
Do the
and
work.
Work
and
is just work. It's not necessarily hard work. I have easy days at work, and I have taxing days at work, but it takes an effort. I know I have to get up and go to work to get the paycheck. Same thing is with relationships. It's going to take some nurturing. You're going to have your great moments. You're going to have your tough moments, but it takes work. I want to do a holiday check-in to everybody that is tuning in today. Dove Nation says, why does commitment have to include monogamy? I'm gonna leave that alone, Dove. I'm gonna let you marinate on that.
We're gonna talk about that.
You have Daryl Wallace that says that we're making good points. Miss Teresa Johnson, hey. James Morris, Anna, Walinda, Teresa, Jamaica, Anna, Walinda, Teresa.
Mrs. Tyson. She said, looking good, Mr. Tyson Smith. Oh.
Hey.
Have a shout out. She said, I see you, boo.
Make sure I'm here.
Thank you all.
She said mentors are great. However, if a couple broke it, they should fix it. I'm not an advocate of taking relationship problems to friends and family members. It takes them longer to recover from the issues than you.
Well, a counselor isn't a friend or family member.
Absolutely.
This is why you need someone who doesn't know you and doesn't give two craps about your situation. They're just there to listen and give an honest and honest take on what's going on, because your friends and your family members are going to take your side 9 times out of 10. So they're going to tell you what you want to hear, not what you need to hear.
Not mad. The women in my family always take the woman's side, no matter what.
You too, huh?
My sister, shout to y'all.
You too, huh?
I got a friend. He says you could be married to a woman for 20 years and she meet a woman in the grocery store and they agree and get along.
Oh yeah, they stick together on all
and that's because we know our clientele is KP would say, I know my brother. I know the cloth he is cut from and who he is as a person.
Hey,
so I tend
Bizzle.
to see the other side most of the time.
What about family loyalty though?
Regardless, we got blood, so.
Also, you gotta ask a person why they want to get married. I mean, to me, that's a very serious question. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I was married to a Jehovah's Witness. I'm Baptist or whatever the case might be, but the strong reason why she wanted to get married is because she had got disfellowship, and she wanted to get back reinstated. So it put pressures on me because I'm gonna be 100 with it. When we first met, I didn't even know she was a Jehovah's Witness. We were having sex and this, that, and the other, and then all of a sudden she had felt bad about it, and told them about it. Now she's disfellowship. Now it's this, urgency. Hey, you know what I'm saying? We got to do the right thing, this, that, and the other. Whereas we should have probably dated and figured out dated longer and figured out it really wasn't going to work. But now that I had this over my head, and at the age of 24, I was very, sexually driven. You know what I'm saying? Like, you cut me off. You know what I'm saying?
So we're getting married.
So we're getting married. It was a bad decision. You know what I'm saying? It was a bad decision, and I ultimately paid for it because now I'm living with you and finding out how things really are. And now I'm seeing how you react when my child has to come live with me, because to say that you only thought I was going to have my kids on a weekend and this ain't going to work, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But if I would have spent more time dating and courting her, I probably would have saw this and not even stepped into the realm of marriage.
I'm glad you said that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say that in there lies a huge mishap when religion interferes. Well, institution, but that minister had the accountability to hold you accountable to what the commitment you were taking, regardless if it was Jehovah's Witness, Baptist. A lot of ministers just give the green seal and say, okay, you're doing the right thing by God, let's go. Rather than taking the time to kind of get in depth, like, why are you here? Oh, you mad because the cookies got cut off. But, the cookie jar might open up. We'll just put you guys in a pause phase. And so I absolutely appreciate your transparency.
Miss T Bizzle from CGF Entertainment Tuesdays here at IntellectualRadio.com. We have been talking about what makes woman wifey material. And T Bizzle said, man number 2, you remind me of Steve Harvey.
Who's man number 2?
Where? Which one? I think
You need to know who that is. But I think the question about
Tyson,
why people want to get married.
I don't think any of them don't remind me of that. Tell me why, T. Go ahead.
I think we should delve into why people want to get married. I actually saw a TED talk the other night talking about marriage, and she was saying that with the ratios of people who actually get married and people who are actually happy in their marriage is so low that if it was a company or a business, we wouldn't even want to do business with that company. And she was like, she doesn't know if she can rebrand marriage by herself, but that as a society, we need to remarket and rebrand marriage. And she was talking about how people view marriage and how people view teamwork. She said she grew up watching soccer. Her husband grew up watching basketball, but ultimately they decided they were a swim team. That when her husband's in the water swimming as hard as he can and going as hard as he can, she's gonna be on the deck cheering or whatever. But he's in his race, in his pool, doing his thing because he's in a different industry, has a different lifestyle than her, and vice versa. As they're trying to be this basketball team when the other dynamics of their lives are so separate and then customizing it. But a lot of people want to get married and they don't even know why.
You, Steve Harvey.
I'm Steve.
No, it's Tyson.
No,
I think you said the gentleman who said he married the Jehovah, who married the Jehovah Witness.
I'm like, what?
Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey. Thank
my
you,
wife
T.
is watching.
Bizzle.
She know I can't stand Steve Harvey because I'm like, dude been married as many times as I have.
That's maybe why she's
makes
saying
him the
that.
marriage guru. So maybe that's why.
Maybe that's why they married 3 times and giving
You know
advice.
what I'm saying?
I like
Now,
that.
Pam makes a good point. An answer of what is wifey material.
Okay, let's ask the guys. We're gonna go straight
I
through.
need
What makes
intelligent woman, an attractive woman, a self-aware woman. That no one is perfect. We all have issues, and I have real trouble dealing with anybody who can't see any of their own issues. And that doesn't mean you healed them all. That doesn't mean you're dealing with them all perfectly. But if you don't even know you got them, we have a serious problem. Myself, I need a very understanding woman because I'm a little cuckoo sometimes.
She doesn't need understanding. She has to have a lot of patience.
A lot of
cuckoo.
Well, that comes with understanding, right?
That's the same.
No.
Tyson, what made wife number 3 wifey material? What did you see in her? What is it?
Oh, definitely. There's a lot of things. We've been dating since we met. You know, as recently as last night. That's why I was a little late today. You know, we never stopped doing what we did in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So we met at a club, and we were at a club as recently as last night, like I was saying. But what makes her wifey material, just to be 100% honest with you, she took on the responsibility of 2 children that she didn't birth. You know, she didn't have any kids. It's really hard to find a woman out there with no kids. She's a beautiful, very attractive woman. But it's
rare.
That's still rare.
The older you get,
You rare.
Well,
You a diamond in the rough.
No, that's a gangle.
you know, my wife is 5 years older than me, you know, so it's amazing she didn't have any kids. But long story short, she has my back. When I got 5 years ago, I was sick with cancer. She was there every step of the way. I wasn't worried about her leaving or anything to that effect. And I've already gone through a situation with the second wife when, you know, with my daughter moving in, where she's ready to leave out the door. This one has my back no matter what. You know, she's very understanding with my career, supportive of my career. When I was doing comedy shows all the time, she would be at the comedy shows cheering me on, doing sketches. If I don't got somebody missing somebody, she getting sketches. So she becomes involved with everything, you know. And at the end of the day, she's even taken a role of being more of a mother to my children than their own actual mothers. And I can actually say that because one child hasn't spoken to his mother in over 5 years. So this is all he knows as a mother. And with the second child, her mom will get her every now and then. But that's neither here or there. But my wife didn't have to, but she took up that role. She's also, you know, mature, because when we first met, I said, baby, I'm sorry, she couldn't cook at all. You know what I'm saying? She couldn't cook it all. She's a vegetarian. And what I appreciate as we're growing up together, she learned she cook off the chain now, you know, and, you know, she cook meat and this, that, and the other stuff she don't even like, you know, can't taste or whatever, but she does it, go on YouTube. So wifey is fulfilling those roles and being there for you. And in turn, I told her like 8 years ago, you ain't got to work no more. You know what I'm saying? So she ain't worked 10 years or whatever the case might be. But when people say, or when I mention the fact that she doesn't work, I just mean going to a regular job. Because staying at home for the things that she does, she keeps the house looking nice. She always has dinner ready. I don't iron none of my clothes. Even this morning when I was rushing late, she was helping me iron my clothes. So that's wifey material. It's good to have somebody good to look at, but sometimes they don't got those other qualities to go along with it. And I think sometimes guys and females look at, oh, this is all I'm seeing is the physical about a person, and they ain't got too much else besides that. So when you wind up being in a committed relationship with them and they start falling short in other areas, you become very disappointed because that's all you was attracted to physically. Now you find out this woman can't cook. Now you find out this woman really don't like to take care of her children. I've been through all that. So seeing her show qualities that she can be more of a mother to my children that their mother are, and love me, regardless, that's a beautiful thing, So
Jay, what's a wifey to you?
My explanation is real simple. Like, man, like I say, my wife, she gets me and I get her. You understand what I'm saying? It's just that's it. I am a Taurus. I am very, very stubborn. I am very, very bullheaded. She's an Aries, so she's not far behind me. And people are like, how do you guys last? What we've learned to do is communicate. Like, and for me, what made her that, I tell people all the time, my reasoning is the simplest ever. I press forward, looking forward in my life, and there was not a point in my life where I didn't see her there, I didn't want her there, and I didn't even want to imagine what my life would be like without her being there. So that's what made her that. And like I said, like she gets me. And I get her because I am not an easy person to deal with, and I know this. I know who I am, and it took me in counseling. Like, when I got to talking about all the things that I've been through from childhood to now, I'm like, man, I'm kind of messed up, huh?
Right.
And she's like,
right.
I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, look, you've been dealing with this all this time. Hell, I'm sorry, man. Like, look. Let's make this thing work because I'm pretty difficult to deal with. So I mean, at the end of the day, she gets me. I get all her quirks. We get on each other's nerves sometimes. It comes with the territory, normal. But she gets me and I get her, and it understood doesn't need to be said, and that's pretty much how our thing works.
So the guys, thank you. Hopefully, ladies, you were taking notes and thinking, taking notes.
Teresa jumped in. She said, does intelligence mean like a college degree? And I definitely wanted to address that because no, I do not equate intelligence with an education. I know people with 10 degrees as dumb as a box of rocks.
No common sense.
Who dropped out of high school and have been reading and living life and traveling and know a lot more than those people who went to school.
Teresa also said that women talk too much, so. Teresa.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Men do
you see, you heard all the men in here just say sometimes.
Men do too.
Sometimes.
So there are times when
I thought the complaint was we don't talk enough.
Neither of us are at a point where we are effectively hearing each other. But
what was her comment though?
The comment was sometimes women talk too much. That messes up your marriage. And so
let's stay on what she said. Is that true? Not because I don't always like when we say, well, men do it too. The thing is, what her point is that
silence is golden, man. Silence is golden, and some people do not understand that concept. Sometimes there can be no peace without silence, and so anybody who's talking too much or feel like there can't be any radio silence in a relationship is probably creating a problem in their relationship.
I only know two things about two signs, and that's Taurus and Gemini.
Oh, Gemini. What do you have to say? It's their time. It's the Gemini season right now.
Season, and we don't know whether to call heads or tails throughout the season. Tread lightly. There's only one consistent Gemini I know, and that's my mommy. Happy upcoming birthday.
My mommy's a Gemini.
Must be more.
But then Taurus is, I've heard that. I know that I have a few Taurus.
I want to add another thing that's made this particular marriage successful that I'm in now is I have matured in a marriage to the point where I started realizing that my wife was really quick to end the argument And you know, I'm a person that can kind of go on days about something. And it took me a couple of years to realize why, and to really grasp that concept of that old cliche, don't go to bed angry and upset. I guess, you know, you start realizing, especially as you're getting older, life is short, you know, and people leave all the time. And if you really care about a person, generally speaking, most things are small in the grand scale of things. So if you could, you know, if you're having a simple disagreement and it's not life threatening, you know, it's not something about the children, just something super dramatic, it's time to let it go. Man, if two people really love each other, if you have this wifey person or whatever, you're going to learn how to let things go. You know, I will admit that at times my wife has apologized for stuff that in retrospect, I don't think she thought she was actually wrong about.
Yeah. Okay.
But she did it so I can shut up and to keep the good times going.
She's a smart woman.
And she's smart. And I have, you know, and it taught me something too. Like, I don't have to always be right either. You know,
but sometimes that's winning. I mean,
You
winning
know,
is to say, you know what, I'm going to let
somebody just said, someone just said having the men explain wifey material puts the burden on women to have a certain quality skill set, when in reality it's both people. Did she miss the part where I said let's not just put the onus on on women only? The onus is on both people.
And we were talking about wifeys, not hubbies.
Wifey material.
But we appreciate that input.
And we're not saying, and I guess it did come off that way when I said women take note, as if I'm saying women, you better do what these guys are saying. And I didn't mean it that way. And I understand where she's coming from, because it does come off that way.
But at the same time, here's what listen, I sat on a panel that I will never do again. And I got asked, I will never do it again. It was called What Men Want, right? There was 8 men. All of us different.
Was that
some sing. No, it was a couple years, about 2 years ago. It was got single guys, successful guys, married successful guys. I was one of the 8 guys on the panel, right? Women actually paid to come and sit in the audience. And I told them this: listen, if you want a man, you are here to listen to what men want and take what works for you and what does not work for you. Right. But they spent hours fighting and had a rebuttal for everything we said, and I was like, the name of this is What Men Want. So if you want a man, you should probably just listen and take note. If you don't want one, shut up and leave.
Right.
That's kind of like the kind of what it is. I mean, for me, like, it's, oh, I don't get men, and then we tell you, and then you have an issue with it. You know what I mean? Then you have an issue with it. It's like, if you're looking for a man, like, listen, take what's useful, discard what's not.
And I think you bring up a very good point, because we have a group on Facebook, He Said, She Said. Please join our group. We have these same discussions all the time in the group. And so much why He Said, She Said was formed and created was for us to hear the man's point of view, for us to hear the woman's point of view, listen and really hear them. But so many times, and in the group it happens so often, versus hearing that there has to be truth in something this man says.
Right.
We can't always say that's not true, that's not what they think. No, it's not. How are we asking you what you think and your opinion if we're not willing to hear that this is valid? This is obviously happening for some group of men, and this is what they're. So let's be open, and vice versa. Yes, I know it goes both ways, that the men too, and especially in the day of Steve Harvey's, that there are a lot of men telling women how to think, what they should do, what they should be, and how men think, and I'm going to tell you. So I get it, but just to be open, that not to just listen, because now we ask their point of view. I asked the men to tell us, and then we say, well, now it goes the other way. No, I think we all have to listen, that there is some, and like you said, Jay, take what you want from it. If you don't want to take anything from it, it's not for you. But if we want to hear what men are thinking, if we really want to know what a man thinks, then let's just be open.
And do know that we have these same type of topics of the woman's perspective. The beauty of the show is he said and she said. So today we're taking a seat back and really trying to delve into the thought processes of our male counterparts to make for good communication down the road. So stay tuned. I got some good topics that are women focused that we dominate that conversation. But today we're listening, and to an extent we're pushing these guys on some of their perspectives. And
I appreciate because it's hard sometimes to get men here who are open and honest about how they feel about things.
Absolutely.
Last week, it was a man who had a relationship coach on here. Oh my God. He was on Jaw Jacking 5:00 today on IntellectualRadio.com. And he talked about that. And I put it, I usually do my Monday quarterback where I talk about the shows I listen to on Sundays and I bring up the topics and he said, she said, to see what they think about what I heard during my day here at Intellectual Radio. And boy, did the guys, why do you need a relationship coach? That man's so weak. How many men thought that was the craziest thing they had ever heard? And I just would like for us just to be open to other possibilities, that some things work for some people, that they may work for us. They may not. But let's see what does.
I truly believe that my whole life process right now is about unlearning some things that are wrong, that I believe were true, and learning some other truths. And to hear Jay say he would never do that again, that's really a problem for me. You know, not saying that he's wrong in saying that, but that experience made him feel like he never wanted to do it again, because that experience is not always like that. That I have been doing panels lately the last couple of years, and I'm always worried about how it's going to go.
No, I would never do that panel again.
Particular.
This is why I'm here, because if I would never do it again, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't be here right now.
I would never do that particular panel again. I have never met such a combative group of people. I mean, now there are, and those ladies' defense, there are some combative men as well. And I'm from a point where I like, listen, you don't own anyone. Anyone should be free to do whatever they want to do. Now, whether they're going to do that seated next to you is up to you. You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, I just never no one wants to receive. I'm tired of the fighting. Right. Is what I'm trying to like.
Me too.
Like women gotta say this, men gotta say this. We're fighting. I'm like, listen, we never get anywhere because everybody is always finger pointing. No one takes the time to listen, not just to actually hear someone, not just to hear and try to understand. Like everything that we know is taught. So bad habits and bad information can be unlearned and discarded. Willing to hear some point of view other than your own.
Yes.
Right.
I love it.
Know the difference between your truth and the truth, because just because it's your truth does not mean it works across the board, or it's the truth across the board, even though that was your experience.
I think one thing that Tyson brought to the table for me that I definitely heard is, in that process of being married 3 times, you got the lesson from each one.
Right.
You looked back on each marriage and said, why didn't that work?
Right.
What could I do different? How should I choose differently? And I don't think people do that after every relationship. It doesn't have to just be a marriage,
right.
But anytime you've been in a relationship with someone and it didn't work out, why not take a moment and say, I wonder what happened. Why didn't that work out?
What contribute?
What did I contribute? It's not always their fault. They didn't do this. They didn't do this. And they didn't. There is 2 people in a relationship. And maybe if we took that time, and that may be why number 3 is so perfect for you, because what you learned from the other.
One thing I also would say I learned from the other relationships was there's this dynamic there, right? As a man, you're supposed to take the lead, you know what I'm saying? But with that being said, are you mature enough to take the lead? And, you know, when I was younger, even though I was the head of the household, I wasn't doing my duty as being a man, you know? So even though you had that title, if you're not fulfilling the role, it's going to be trashed, you know, at the end of the day. Being a man of the household is taking care of your responsibilities, making sure that your wife is straight, and you know, doing everything you could do as a man to help pay the bills, this, that, and the other. I see a lot, to me today, of women kind of taking care of guys, you know, guys that don't want to really do things for themselves, and they feel like they're going to mold this person into a man, but that's not really going to work. If he wasn't to begin with, you can't make them into one.
What if they feel they see the potential? The woman that sees the potential in him because he has his degree, he has a good job, he has these things. They see the potential, so they think.
Fine.
That's fine if he got that stuff going on.
If he's working towards it.
He's working exactly. But if he's living in his mom's house selling nipple bags and you know, driving a raggedy car,
let me tell you something that was always told to me. whether male or female, you cannot raise an adult that parents already tried and failed.
Yep.
So you don't stand a chance. You cannot raise an adult, and be it male or female, because I see a lot of that, and these are discussions that I have about, stats in our community and things like that. There's a lot of that, but then there's a lot of underlying reasons for that, and there are a lot of women who help a lot of brothers get on their feet. So I'm not opposed to that, being that Black women control 77% of the wealth in our communities. So I'm not opposed to that, but my thing is, are you doing your due diligence, or are you letting this woman raise you? Are you out trying to earn your keep? Are you out trying to better your situation with her? Or are you just there using?
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Right.
There is a difference. It really is. So this is why, I understand what you're saying, Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
I always tread light when I speak on those types of things, because I understand every situation is different. When I left my neighborhood, I was like, look, I ain't hustling no more. I ain't doing none of that. I ain't have nothing. And you know what she said? I got us.
Mm-hmm.
So I always tread light when I did, but I went and I earned my keep. You understand what I'm saying? When I was like, I'm going to leave Columbia. I'm tired of bad for me. I've been in 2 shootouts, a brawl, and I was in college at the time, mind you, but I still had to come back to the neighborhood where everything was going on. And I was like, man, I just need this. She was like, we'll figure it out. I got us. So there is a lot of that, but at the same time, but again, I credit her for helping me see that there was more to me than what I was trapped in. So I always, like I said, I tread light when I speak of that. But again, you can't raise an adult.
And
just know that.
What I like about what both of you men have said is that even when describing wifey material, neither one of them said that this is the blanket. Both of them said, for this relationship, this is what stood out as wifey material. So while we're using the term and we're talking loosely, do know that it changes from person to person as your relationships does. And what they both went out of relationships, failed relationships prior to, is the lesson learned. So if you're still playing fixer up with men from relationship to relationship to relationship, then it's time to step back and say, okay, there's got to be something else, something that I'm missing, as opposed to, okay, this is our potential together. She's on hard time or he's on hard times. I can give them some support at the moment. However, I know that they have the potential to kind of pick up the reins once they get on their foot.
We have been listening to He Said, She Said on IntellectualRadio.com, and Teresa said to my comment, be careful, we sometimes put our foot in our mouth. So hopefully you all can read it because it moves. You hate Steve Harvey, why his actions, advice shows are for a wide range of people. How would you like it if someone said they hate you and your opinionated advice today? That would be mean for no reason. None of us know your story, but you again, I'm complimenting you on getting it correct the third time, marrying your soulmate. But the unnecessary hate is wasted energy. It's not hate.
Teresa,
please,
I think
let me correct that. And I agree with you.
Let's take care of this one. I think you're taking what he said out of context. He said he does not look like Steve Harvey. He does not support Steve Harvey views. And celebrity and no hate. And Steve puts himself on the platform, so he puts himself out there to be criticized when his actions don't add up to what he's telling you to do. Did you wait 90 days?
I have this thing for Steve Harvey simply for the fact that, long story very short, the things going on with Donald Trump. I just think he picked a bad time to show his support of that person. So when you're a successful person, you have a lot of weight in the community, and I think you should, use that weight to try to uplift us. And when you see things are going wrong, I don't care how much money is involved, you have a voice, you have a platform to correct things or try to, help people see the light. Now that we got this dude in office, I don't want to go totally off subject, but now that we got this guy in office, Now everybody's like, dang, what happened? What do we do? But he could have used his voice, especially with the African American community, to substantiate that this is the wrong move to make. But instead, we see him in the White House shaking hands with that person, and I was just totally appalled by that. So,
and I don't think we necessarily.
Even before that, I wasn't.
Mine had nothing to do with
the exploitation of women of color bothers me.
Listen, everybody has a right to do what they want with their platform.
They do.
Right.
Everybody has a right to like or dislike it.
True.
So I'm over the word hate. Like, listen, I'm not stopping you from doing what you're doing. I just don't have to agree with it. And then we just keep it pushing.
That's how I feel. So it wasn't trying to put any.
If it makes you feel any better, I still watch Family Feud.
I just and
it is funny. He's funny.
Little big people.
Yeah.
I have no clue what that one is. So I want to say thank you to my sponsors of the show. I appreciate you so much. Made You Look Mobile Car Wash. He will come anywhere you are and wash your car, your home, your office. Sometimes I come out of here and my car is washed. Thank you very much. So you need them, call them. 708-674-4609. Give them a call. Morte Cosmetics, who I wear my lipstick from MorteCosmetics.com. Check them out. I gave up the runway red, y'all. I wore red all winter long, so now I'm rocking pink.
That pink is cute.
So MorteCosmetics.com. I appreciate you. The Windy City Grays, go out there, watch them play this Wednesday. They're going to be out in Crete, Journey to Wholeness Center. And then we have an event coming up. We are going to be doing He Said, She Said live June 21st. So we bring this conversation with a group of people out at the bar, wine, drinks, fun, games, Uno. We're going to bring out the big Uno. We got some big old Uno cards.
Big A Uno cards. They literally are as big as my head. We haven't figured out how to shuffle the cards. I think we're cheating every time we play it. But we have that. And my new fun game, which is odd, is Connect 4.
I've
been getting my butt kicked and been kicking butt as an adult in Connect 4. You can switch it up. It's not like kiddie Connect 4. Like
it's no different.
You play for adult beverages. No.
Oh, you just add a
reward. You add a reward.
Okay, so we do that at room 183, 4167, 183rd Street in Country Club Hills, June 21st. We'll be out there on a Wednesday, 7 to noon. So we've been talking about what makes a woman wifey material. This term wifey, and we've been all over the place with this, but I love the conversation. It's been going well. I have some guests here. Got some resident he's. I love having my new he's, Jay Hollins and Tyson Smith, helping in Yatu out, my main man to my left today. So we've been talking about this, and I really know women who like being called wifey, and they don't have any intention on being married. They like that he has put this title on her that makes her stand out, that she almost has a little badge of feeling a little bit better than the other women because he calls me wifey. So what do you all feel about that?
I'm gonna play devil's advocate for 1 second though.
Why are you pointing me?
No. It's funny because I knew he was about to say something. I'm sorry. I'm gonna play devil's advocate for 1 minute because I've seen this happen twice in my life. You don't want to play wifey to the point where your husband passed and none of the benefits are getting to you, and you've been taking care of that person the whole time.
I have a question about that.
Because I've seen that happen 2 times. One where a person just never got a formal divorce with somebody, but they was with this particular person for 15 plus years. They were with them when they were sick, all this, that, the other. Then they passed. Now all of a sudden, this other person's ex-wife comes out, current wife comes out the woodwork.
Let me tell you,
these are all my benefits.
I'm a funeral director. It happens. It's a hotline that something goes out in the universe that your estranged husband died, and those ladies come in and say, "No, I'm his wife, and I'm on this policy." So I don't know how y'all gonna pay for this.
And all that matters is what's in black and white.
Frankie Lyman.
That's it.
Well,
that's all that matters.
I see Anna Nicole and Dub Nation not arguing, but
what are they talking about?
Going back and forth a little bit because Dub feels like don't give a woman or don't give a person a title until they show that they can play that position to have that title. And Anna Nicole Lacey is saying, I'm not going to play that role without the title. And so as you two men being married, do you feel like you made your wives your wife, and then she started acting like a wife, or you saw that wifely behavior and then you married her? Because honestly, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Yeah. I believe that young lady's smart and she can have whoever she wants to, but I disagree with her on this concept that a man is going to not see anything come to the table, make you the wife, and then have an expectation that all of a sudden you're going to flip into this wife.
Right. Well, that leads into the statement that I personally despise. Like, oh, I'm not going to act like a wife till you treat me like a wife, or until you marry me, rather. I'm not going to act like a wife until you marry me. Well, how do you think we're going to arrive here for me to ever want to marry you if you're only acting like a chick that I'm smashing?
Right.
If that's all you ever act like, that's all you going to be. Like, and I can't see the value in you, because there is a million different chicks that can get smashed on any day. You understand what I'm saying? So if that's all I view you as, that's all you'll ever be. If I don't see any more value in that, like, just like if I don't make myself more valuable to you than the other men that are trying to court you, then I'm disposable. And here is what everybody has to realize. What is it like? 7.2 billion people on the earth or something like that. Everybody's expendable.
Okay.
Everyone is expendable. Male, female, cat, dog, plant, everything.
Yes.
Everyone is expendable. So you are only as your value is what you bring to the table for that person, and vice versa. So can we really like stop with all of that? I'm not doing this and I'm not doing this. And also, if someone who doesn't want to get married is okay with the term wifey, what injustice does it serve you? Let people be okay with what they okay with.
Right.
Now, I will say this, and this is me being devil's advocate, but still agreeing with the panel too. Every animal throughout the universe shows why they are the pick of the litter. When you have two birds, it's the male bird who shows all of his vibrant feathers. Of course, I like the animal kingdom. He shows how loud he can sing and what he can do in order to attract that female bird. Not that we're birds, or I'm not going to go into monkeys because that can go left real fast. But the fact is that, and I get where she's coming from, society always pushes the agenda that the woman has to impress, but it's reciprocal. So while I'm showing, while women are showing, displaying why they are a good catch, period, the man should be showing his good catch material as well. So it's reciprocal.
Anna said, I'm not being your wife if I'm not your wife. I'm going to support you as much as I can as your friend. If you treat me like a chick you're smashing, then I am going to act accordingly.
Well, if you act like a chick I'm smashing, I'm going to act accordingly.
I'm going to say this again, I respect everybody's opinions and things of that nature, and I've never been married, so I'm not an expert in this arena. But if me and a woman are in a relationship and we haven't gone through some things, like I haven't gone through some things in my life, we've been together long enough to see how you respond to that, and vice versa, I'm making a blind decision of marrying you. And so in those scenarios, I expect you to show me who you're going to be to me, and you should expect the exact same thing for me. To me, that's what really reveals relationships, is what you go through.
Hold on. And y'all too, can I stop you? Because I see right now, there is some selective amnesia going on in these comments that I'm reading. Right. Did I not say that we both have to prove who we are to one another? I didn't just say, oh, you have to act like my wife. As a matter of fact, I never said you had to act like my wife. I just said that you have to show me your value as well as I have to show you my value.
Yeah, let me flip that from the woman's perspective. So if I'm looking for a man, you get what you're getting also. I mean, if I see that a man is doing this and doing that, then I see, okay, you getting this and you getting that, and we're giving together. We're not talking about someone giving all and not receiving. You give what you get.
Absolutely.
Don't give it to someone who's not giving it to you. So if you have a man who's giving you, showing you this and showing you that, you give him this. You get nobody. Like you all say, you want to test drive a car. If I don't know what I'm going to get, why am I going to buy it? I don't know how you drive. If your engine is not running right and knocking, I want to see something.
And media misses that factor. Again, and it's mainly because there's a propaganda that there's this 70% of
the shortage.
Black women that are desperate for marriage. So we got to feed you all this material, how to get your catch and hold on to them. And the fact of the matter is, the man that's walking in his light, a woman is going to easily conform to that and say, hey, which is why I'm sure these guys were like, okay, we're a good sync.
Right.
Like Jay said, he didn't see his future without his wife. Tyson has said also that he and his wife, they fit together. It wasn't hard work. It was just a nice sync. And so when both qualities come together, you're allowing yourself to be vulnerable. You know that there's going to be a slight compromise, nothing about your core of who you are. But in order to make this work, there's just got to be, again, that work we talked about earlier.
And mutual. It should be that. I think, unfortunately, women have done things for the wrong one and hold other men accountable for the errors before.
We all do that.
And so
men do it, and I know you hate that, but men do it too.
Do it.
Yeah.
And so I just want to say, can everybody leave their baggage at home?
Yes.
Leave your baggage at
Really
home.
leave it at home.
I don't need it. I don't just leave it at
Or
the crib.
recognize you got that backpack
And
on
it
at
takes
least.
maturity to get to that level, to be like, hey, that's
Absolutely.
my past and who I am. This is what I learned from it. The next guy, he's going to get the better 2.0.
until he shows you he doesn't deserve it, but give it all.
Right.
And when they show it, take it.
What good does it do? Like for me, if okay, I give you a perfect example. I have a really good friend, right, who's dating this girl who had a bit of a past, and everybody was like, "Oh man, he messing with old girl." And he was like, "I don't really care about that. I care about how she treats me." He's like, "I got a past too," and I'm like, "Can we all like?" I want everybody to be like that, honestly. What good does it do you if you worried about what she or he used to do as opposed to how they're treating you in the moment and in the time that you're spending with them? Like, we get too caught up in worrying about, oh, man, how I'm going to look here, how I'm going to look. If you feeling somebody and you rocking with them and they feeling you, man, y'all court each other and see how it pans out. Like, we put too much stock in what it looks like or what it or what it's gonna be to them. What is it to you?
I got to grow up in that area then, because I don't want to date Amber Rose. I don't care how she treats me.
Me neither.
She is too. I don't understand why all these athletes and rappers all date the same.
But it goes back to what I said, bro. Why can't everybody just be okay with that? Like, would I do what he did? Probably not. But the fact that he was okay with it, he was like, bruh, I'm digging her right now. She digging me. I'm like, man, rock out. See how it go for you.
Agreed.
Absolutely. And again, with even lightheartedly, I know you were joking about Amber Rose, but she made me that guy that is for her. That's all. I can't.
No, I'm not knocking. I'm not knocking her as a person or whatever the case may be. But I think sometimes the stars are starstruck too. Didn't have women chasing after them before they became famous, and they were dreaming about certain women before they became famous, and now they like going after those women to some degree, you know, no matter what. And that's why a lot of times they still not together.
Yeah, too. We know what those are. Let's call it what it is. Look, me and you, I think you got a year on me. Those are called suckers. Right. We know what those guys are. We ain't talking about them. Let the suckers stay in the sucker lane. Like that ain't what we on.
Right. But what you said is very real. You can't be caught up in people's past. Life is trial and error, you know, and people learn from their mistakes. And I feel fortunate that people still are attracted to me despite whatever mistakes I've made in my past, because Lord knows I've made plenty of them.
It's a case by case basis too. So even with the case of, if you want to use Amber Rose as a example, well, if I'm a man that's out here that's known to sleep around with a lot of women, we might work out for the fact that we know where we came from, and now we're stopping that. Right. You know what I'm saying? It might be difficult for me to be in a relationship with an ex-crackhead, and I'm not putting them down. I'm just serious. It might be easier for a crackhead to be with another ex-crackhead because you understand the struggles that y'all both been through. Right. Now y'all can work towards keeping each other on track.
Man. That's all it is.
And you know, when my first two marriages, one thing I say, the difference between this marriage and the first two was I married the same exact person and then raised my expectation after we got married. Where she was before we got married never changed after we got married. With the first two, I know I ignored some red flags, and they probably ignored some red flags about me. First two, I was really out there kind of bad, dealing with other women, and they knew that because they were meeting me from being with another woman. You know what I'm saying? But the red flags I ignored with my first marriage, I know right off bat, she was a kind of a dirty person. And I felt like, she was going to change once we got married. And that never changed. You know what I'm saying? With the second person, will wind up making the marriage mess up with something that was a red flag in the beginning. She didn't have that many interactions with my children. But me, young, it's just a sex thing, and we court and we date and we going out. But I wasn't paying attention to the fact that she's never spending time with my kids, no matter how long we have been together. That was a red flag that I chose to ignore and got married anyway. And then when my child had to move in with me, it became a big issue. So if you know this person has always been bad with money, you know what I'm saying, and have never grown up for that, you can't have that expectation all of a sudden they're going to be good with money now that y'all married. If you know they weren't, this is a number one thing that I just truly don't understand. If a female sees that a guy is not taking care of kids to begin with, then all of a sudden she thinks that they have a kid together, he's going to be father of the year.
I don't get it.
He has a track record there. Now, if y'all go into the relationship, he wasn't taking care of his kids. Now, as y'all relationship was going on, I'm starting to spend more and more time with my kids. Okay, that has changed. Like you said, now we have both evolved together. But if he wasn't taking care of the other two, but now he acts like your kid was the best thing since sliced bread, you know what I'm saying? It's going to eventually happen.
Look, I have a relative that has currently 8 kids. I'm like, who are these women that keep getting pregnant by him? I'm like, who are they?
Yeah, they think they're going to change them. They think they're going to change. They get into a relationship thinking they're going to change somebody, but it's not going to happen. You marry who you're going to marry. You know what I'm saying? You marry the person you was dating the whole time.
And the red flags, I think, is an important thing. Like you said, I think sometimes people think, oh, we moved together. And now I agree with you all. I mean, I don't want to move with anybody first, but I do think if you spend the night at somebody, you can see the red flag. You may need to just maybe open your eyes a little bit.
So when they know you coming, sometimes
they clean up and hide the stuff.
Absolutely, they will do. Sometimes they will do more. I'm serious. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not saying this person was bad, but I thought I was in a relationship with one person, and then when we lived together, it was a totally different ball game. And another time, me and somebody just had to live together. I swear the first 30 days, it was like either she was throwing me out or I was threatening to leave. But I don't think it was necessarily because we was a bad match. I think it was an adjustment from, both having been single for a period of time to trying to merge. And it, was going to take some work.
I've had 2 1-week stints, and it was really just, they were transitioning into
1 week living with someone?
Yes, and it drove me nuts. So I know I'm going to have separate quarters. Like, this is crazy.
I say that.
You're at the door and you want to talk right now? Like, can I get in and be quiet? It was just absolutely crazy.
See, those are those quirks and idiosyncrasies that I was talking about.
And I learned a lot about myself that, like, I'm an extrovert, but when I go home, I'm very introverted. I like to be quiet. I like to kind of get my pace, watch TV, watch some videos. And then I start calling people, texting people, but I'm no good at that.
When somebody will expose you and them. It will expose you, seriously.
At the end of the day, and it seems like this is what he did, and I feel like this is what I did. At the end of the day, you're supposed to marry your best friend.
Absolutely.
So if that person is not your best friend, you don't need to be getting married or giving them that title anyway.
Man, I used to like this girl I was real close friends with, and I thought we might have a future. And one day she said to me, though, the me that's your friend is not the same me that would be your wife. And it's spooky. I was like,
well, you know what that translation. We cool, but if you date me, I'm crazy. So that's So she was giving you fair warning, like, you can jump in, but if you jump in, it's gonna be a little different. So
I think she was saying is, it's easier for me to be totally honest with you as your friend,
absolutely,
than it would be for me to be totally honest with you if we were in a romantic relationship. And that's real talk. I appreciate her honesty, and I heeded the advice.
Did you leave her alone right then?
I would stay friends.
Just stay friends. You did exactly that.
I had one experience that stick out in my mind from what he just said, where a young lady I was about to have sex with, we was right there at it, and she made this statement that made me put back on my clothes. She said, once we do this, it's going to change everything.
We go together.
Huh?
And the way she said it,
Whoa.
you know what I'm saying? As eager as I was, that's the first and only time in my entire lifetime. So when you said that story, I thought about it. I put on my clothes. I put on my clothes because it was something strange about how she said that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't
Did she had a crazy twitch in her eye?
I don't know.
And
She wasn't hanging out to find out.
Right before moment is always that awkward. You know I'm gonna be crazy, right?
And the guys who don't listen to that and do it anyway and wonder why their car windows are busted out.
I used to tell my little brother who played pro ball. He used to be like, "Man, old girl crazy." I'm like, "She ain't crazy, bro. She in love." I said, "You done brought these girls all over the world and party with them and this, that, and the other, and then you send them home and then just expect them to just be." I'm like, "No, dog." I'm like, "You crazy because you keep doing it to yourself."
There it is.
There it is.
Take responsibility. You saw that? You saw Jay? You saw that? You saw what he did right there? He just told that man, bruh, take responsibility for your actions. I know me, I'm single because of me. It ain't nothing women doing wrong. It ain't nothing that every woman does or anything like that. It's all, I take accountability and responsibility for everything going on in my life.
And ladies, make sure before a guy is calling you wifey, because I'm thinking of my boy. I know he may be watching us right now.
Help him.
And he's my no, I can put it out there. Hey, Wild Bill, what up? It's
Name a name?
Oh, he played a lot of my sketches and stuff like that. So, long story short, we have been best friends for 18, almost 20 years or whatever. And he brought a woman around me, and then when he introduced me, he said, "You know, this is my wifey." And then she started talking to me and said, "Yeah, we've been together 6 years. I ain't never heard of her. I have never seen. This is my boy." So make sure before a guy's utilizing his title with you. No.
Okay.
Make sure if a guy's utilizing his title, your wifey, if you using this title, everybody should know who this person is.
Right.
You know
That's
what I'm saying?
man code.
I think
man code is you gotta let the squad know.
Say one last thing and then I'm done. Listen, I just want everybody to stop fighting, please. Can we please take the time to hear each other? Stop being so combative. Like, listen, everything, you don't have to internalize and personalize every single thing that a man says or that a woman says. Just take a second to listen and process. Like, just be quiet for a second.
Yeah.
Just process it. Because you don't have to internalize everything, something that someone says. So, I mean, like I said, take what's useful, discard what isn't, and add your own flavor to it. Everything's not going to work for you. Everybody's normal is not the same. So stop internalizing and personalizing everything. And that's where a lot of the fighting come from. Like, I don't even engage in a lot of discussions because they all turn into 3-day long arguments. And I ain't got that kind of time. I got clients to train.
Right. It based on someone's experience. Well, that's not what happened with me.
Right.
Okay, well, that does not mean that that's not what happened with them. I mean, you make a very good point. And so hopefully that's where we can walk away. I want you all to shout out your social media where we can find you and Yacht too.
Okay, definitely on Facebook, I'm in Yatu Marvel, NYATU-MARVEL. On Instagram, I'm Marvelous since 1974. That's the year of my birth, so the sense is SINCE. And basically, you can find me all around Chicago, out in the world in real life, because I like to meet people in real life too. So if you saw me on this show, you saw me on social media, and you see me out in the street,
go up to them, ladies.
Be like, "What up? I saw you."
In Dot.
Again, that's my name. N Dot is in He Said She Said group. I am also admin for Dating Chronicles, where we share and swap dating stories. And we also, Wanda and I just put together a new group, the
Date Night Chicago.
Date Night Chicago. So I'm kind of the socialite of the panel. I'm always out and about. And so I kind of make notes on my phone of good places that you should go, stay away from on dates. And my Facebook name is Nina Ward. You can find me there. Crooklyn Girl on Instagram is kind of like, she ratchet. So like you go on there, just expect. Like that's my fun page.
Tyson.
I have a little social media page.
Just a little one.
You can find me on my group. So I got 30 and up doing us. Shout out to y'all. I know y'all watch it. We got like 140,000 people. We started last January. So that's one place. Yeah, 30 and up doing us. Also, Marriage Life Uncensored. That's for the married folk, people who think they're about to get married, separated, divorced, engaged, whatever the case might be. Y'all join that. Instagram at Tyson Comedian. And my regular Facebook page is full, but you can follow me, Tyson Smith, Chi-Town Comedian.
First and foremost, y'all can find me at 800 West Evergreen. That's Hollins Fitness. I am a NSCA certified personal trainer with a degree in exercise science. So if you need a personal trainer, you can find me there. Now for social media, you can find me on Facebook, Jay Hollins, JayHollins. Twitter is just at Jay Hollins, the letter J, Hollins. Instagram, I am on there as Hollins Fitness 1 and J_Hollins. Getting ready to throw my hat back in the R&B arena. So Casanova Black, the visual EP coming in September. So those are all the places you can find me.
Hey, thank you. Guys, I'm Wanda B, like the B. And we had a little group. She said, we talk about these things. So follow us there and join in the conversation with us. I appreciate that. Thank you to my guest host. Love having you guys.
Thank you for having
me. Jay,
show.
and my team, the squad, and God too. And thank you for coming out. Thank you to my sponsors. Made You Look, Mobile Car Wash, Journey to Wholeness Center, Morte Cosmetics. Room 183, June 21st. We want to see you out. Look for that invite. Hope you come out there. And we are going to be here. Fab Savage, my girl from London. We're going to bring He Said, She Said to London.
Nice.
I'm on that
She
trip.
and I have been talking about that. That's my theme song. Love my girl, Hot Apple Pie. Get that on iTunes. And we're going to be here, same place, same time next week, 2:00 next week. But we're going to be doing 2 hours, I think. I was feeling this today. We got everything out we wanted to talk about. So same place, same time here on IntellectualRadio.com. See you next week.
Inside.